welcome to another episode of Video with Eileen. So today I thought it would be nice to show you some yoga stretches with a focus on your legs. So oftentimes when students come for my classes, the one complaint or the one I should say concern that they have is that they have very tight hamstrings. So hopefully these stretches today will help you loosen up into your hamstrings as well as other parts of your legs, hip flexors, outer hips, and everything as well. So join me on the mat and we will get started. So we begin by coming to a comfortable seat of your choice on the mat. Closing your eyes gently if you haven't already. Just taking this time to center and ground yourselves. Sitting up nice and tall, lengthening your spine. And as you sit here, connecting with your breath, using your breath to calm your mind down. And in this way, feel yourself being very present here on the mat. Just 2 more breaths here. And from here, if you'd like to join me, bringing palms together at heart center. Taking an inhale here through your nose, exhaling out through your nose, bowing forehead towards your fingertips. Opening up your eyes, letting the light in. Namaste. Just releasing your hands down from here, and we are just going to come up to a standing position at the top of our mats. Feet together, take an inhale, rising up, circle the arms up, lift your gaze towards your fingertips, lengthen upwards. As you exhale, circling the arms all the way down, coming into your standing forward fold. And from here, setting the hands, take a big step back with your right foot. Coming into your runner's lunge here, try to keep that back leg nice and straight. If you need to, of course, there's always an option to drop that back knee down. But for this, especially since this is a runner's lunge, if you can, lift the back knee nice and straight up. You want to find length in that right hip flexor right there. Take an inhale, lifting your gaze forwards, lengthening the spine. If you have blocks at home, you can always bring blocks and place them under your hands. For me, I'm just going to stay here and breathe. We're going to stay here a little bit longer. Continue to breathe. Continue to find that length with each inhale, finding that space in your body. And just staying for 3, for 2, for 1. Now releasing your runner's lunge by straightening your front leg, rocking back onto your back heel, coming into a very wide-legged pyramid stance here. Both sets of toes facing the top of your mat. If you need to step your back foot 1 or 2 steps in, go for it. And then from here, once more, take an inhale. Think about halfway lifting your torso, lift your gaze, lengthen the spine, send your chest forwards. And as you exhale, bowing upper body down. So not much work in the upper body here, fairly relaxed, but you want to find a very nice stretch in the front and back leg here. Your right calf should feel a very nice stretch, and your front hamstring should feel a very nice stretch as well. Those of us with more space, maybe nose finds the knee. Yep, there we go. Or wherever you are, continue to breathe. And remember each breath, finding that space in your body. Now just staying for 3, for 2, for 1. Now to release, walk your hands over to the right edge of the mat. So you're facing the long edge of the mat now, turning all your toes to face the long edge of your mat. Hands onto hips. And then taking an inhale, slowly lift up all the way. Hello. And from here, take an inhale, lifting arms up. If you can, lift your gaze up. And as you exhale, reaching fingertips forwards. You are hinging from the hips and slowly gazing forwards, lengthen the spine. And as you keep exhaling, palms grounding onto the mat. Maybe slight bend in the elbows, holding upper body down. Feeling a very nice stretch back of your both legs, even up into the inner legs as well. Now an option here, if you want to stretch out the shoulders a little bit, turn your fingertips away from you, between your legs, send them towards the left edge of the mat. Keep walking your hands further and further away towards the back, but keep pressing into the outer edges of both your feet. So feel a nice engagement, nice stretch in the legs, and then just letting the head hang down. Maybe crown of the head touches the mat, but if it doesn't, not to worry at all. Each time you exhale, try to release a little bit more and more down. And we're just staying here for 3, 4, 2, 4, 1. If your fingertips are facing backwards, turn them around, face the front once more. Hands onto hips. Take an inhale, slowly lifting your torso all the way back up again. From here, turn all your toes to face the back edge of the mat. Take an inhale to lengthen arms upwards. As you exhale, bring your palms down onto the mat. Bending into your right knee this time, coming into runner's lunge on this side. Take your time to adjust a little bit if you need to. Then keeping knee over ankle nice and strong. Back leg nice and straight. Feel a very nice stretch in the hip flexor already. Take an inhale here. Halfway lift the torso, gaze forwards, lengthening spine. And then staying here. Breathe. Feel that very nice stretch here. And we're going to stay here just a bit longer. 4, 3, 4, 2. Not holding the breath. And 1. Now going to transition into that wide-legged pyramid stance. So straightening that front right leg, rocking back onto your left heel. Adjust your feet slightly if you need to. Then take an inhale, halfway lift torso once more. Exhale to fold completely. Slight bend in the knees if you're really tight still, but slowly straightening up over time. But if you still need to keep a slight bend in the knees, absolutely fine as well. We always work with what we have, remembering that this is a stretch, not a strain. So give your body time. Continue to stay here and breathe. Think about really drawing your front leg into your hip socket here. So you feel very nice engagement, and we stay for 3, for 2, for 1. Now, walking your hands over to that right edge of the mat once more, turning your toes to face the right. Keep turning, spin them round to face the front of the mat. Bring your hands forwards too. And then from here, set your hands, step your left foot back. We are in our high plank position. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, find downward facing dog. Now downward dog is a really good stretch for the legs, for the back of your upper body as well. Now in downward dog, if your heels don't ground, remember you can always keep a slight bend in the knees, but keep thinking about sending your chest back towards your heels. And then gradually over time, the heels will ground. But you're always finding length in the back of the legs. And breathe. One more deep breath here. And now from here, your next inhale, right foot lifts. Three-legged dog. This time, bending your right knee. See if you can stack your right hip over your left. Coming to scorpion tail kick. You're bringing your gaze underneath right armpit. Both arms strong. Open up the hips here. And then, coming back to center. This time, charging the right foot all the way forwards between your hands. Setting the right foot in between the hands. Back knee down onto the mat. Take your time to transition as you inhale up into a low lunge. Gaze can be forwards if that helps you stabilize. Otherwise, keep thinking about squeezing inner legs together. That will help you stabilize. And if you can, lifting your gaze up towards the sky. Drawing arms slightly further back. If the ribs flare a little bit here, that's okay. So we're coming more into crescent lunge here. Open your chest. Here, feel a nice little back bend. Keep the chest lifted. And we stay for 3, for 2, and 1. As your next exhale, bringing your palms down, framing front foot. Now, take your time to transition from here into a half split. Your Ardha Hanumanasana. So gradually straightening out front leg as much as you can. Once again, if you need to keep a slight bend in that front knee, that's of course perfectly fine. If you have blocks, you can even bring the blocks and set them under your hands here. Now, wherever you are, take an inhale. Halfway lift your torso, lift your gaze, lengthen the spine. Exhale to fall down. Whichever option you're in, think about flexing right toes more and more towards you as you really draw that right leg up into the right hip socket. Finding a very nice stretch. Staying a bit longer here. You want to find length in that right hamstring. Stay for 3. Breathe for 2. And 1. Now, grounding your front foot down, walk your hands forwards to frame the front foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and step right foot back, coming into your high plank once more. Taking an inhale here, as you exhale, find downward facing dog. Now onto the second side, as your next inhale, left foot lifts, three-legged dog. Bending your left knee, stack left hip over right as you come into your scorpion tail kick here. Really opening up into the hips. Arms are strong. Control. Now coming back to center, charging the left foot all the way forward. Set it down. Back knee grounds onto the mat as well. Flatten top of your back foot against the mat. Take an inhale. Come up into your low lunge. Now choosing to have gaze forwards. Or if you can, lift the gaze as you join me here to come more and more into crescent lunge. Drawing arms back, we lift our heart space. Gazing up. Let the hips sink down a little bit more towards the mat. So really feeling nice stretch in the hip flexors, in the inner legs. Stay for 3, for 2, for 1. As you next exhale, bringing your palms down, framing your front foot. Straightening out the left leg this time as you come into Ardha Hanumanasana here. Flexing left toes towards you. Take an inhale, halfway lift torso. Exhale to fold. Not much effort in the upper body here. Wherever you are, always making sure that your weight is centered in the midline. So we don't want to collapse onto either side. No, we want to keep the hips as level as they can be. In the center, keep flexing left toes towards you. Staying, finding length in the front hamstring. Just a bit longer for 3, for 2, for 1. Now release, grounding left foot down, Walk your hands forwards, frame your front foot, tuck back toes, lift your back knee, step back into high plank. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, find downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, just let your knees come down onto the mat. Untuck your toes and sit back onto your heels. Our last pose in this little sequence is your reclining hero's pose. So sit down onto the mat, bringing your bum down in between your feet. Already feeling a very nice stretch as you align your toes towards the back of the mat, knees towards the front. Stretching front of the ankles very nicely here. Now we are going to take it back. So slowly leaning back with control, and do this very carefully. If you need blocks, set them down behind you. Otherwise, pressing into your palms, come down onto your forearms. Gazing forwards. You should already start to feel a very nice stretch in the quads, especially if you're very tight quads like me. Continue to send the knees forwards, and then if this feels okay, maybe you want to take it down further by coming down all the way slowly, resting back of the head down on the mat, and hands can be resting lightly on your upper thighs in front, like so. Or maybe you want to incorporate more of a nice passive upper body stretch. Stretch the arms up overhead, perhaps catching hold of opposite elbows. And feel free to close your eyes here as you stretch out. Always feeling that nice stretch by consciously sending the knees forwards, but do it very gently. And if you feel uncomfortable at any point, please come out of this stretch. Be very careful here. And if you're still staying with me here, we stay just a little bit longer this time for 5 more counts. 5, 4. You can of course choose to stay a bit longer if you wish. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly to exit the pose with me, grounding palms down first, and then pressing into the elbows, lifting yourself up one step at a time, and then just release a right leg up, a left leg out, and you are sitting on the mat. That feels nice. And to close out this practice, you can stay a little bit longer in Shavasana if you like. Take a little nice short Shavasana. Or join me here as we re-ground into our seat once more, closing our eyes. Taking a moment to pause and reflect here. Feeling the benefits of our practice in our bodies. And if you'd like to join me, bringing hands together at heart center. Taking an inhale here through your nose. Exhale out through your nose as well. Have a gentle bow of your forehead towards your fingertips. Namaste. Thank you for joining me, everyone. I hope that was really beneficial for you. Any feedback, questions, or comments, drop that in the comment box below. Until then, happy practicing, champs. Bye for now.